All right, Rob. We spoke yesterday about JJ Redick and what he said in introducing Bronny James to the world as a Los Angeles Laker. Here's what he said. I want to replay it for the listeners.
Rob and I did not give Bronny anything. Bronny has earned this. Bronny talks about his hard work. Bronny has earned this through hard work. And for us, prioritizing player development, we view Bronny as like case study one, because his base level of feel, athleticism, point of attack defender, shooting, passing, there's a lot to like about his game. And as we sort of build out our player development program holistically, he's going to have a great opportunity to become an excellent NBA player.
I played that, Rob, because that was very scrutinized, what he said. The fact that he said Bronny was not given anything, he earned it. We talked about it here on this show. A lot of people talked about it and criticized JJ Redick for saying that, you being one of them. And my point, I'm bringing that up not to talk about yesterday's conversation again, but to show the immense pressure that Bronny James is about to face.
Chris,
he's in the pressure cooker.
There's no doubt about it. Everything, and that's why, as I was saying yesterday, do you remember I was trying to say the way that he could have worded it, that there's no way Bronny's going to be able to be an average or developing young player. Chris, when he misses a wide open three, when he misses a layup at the basket, do you know what I mean? Like my God, it'll be the end of the world. He's going to be in a very, very tough pressure cooker, as you use the term. He will.
Do you think that the pressure he will face is warranted? Because obviously yes. A lot of people are like, hey, he seems like a really good kid. I know people that, have talked to students that went to high school with him and stuff, and just say he's legitimately a good kid, and he comes off that way, seems like it. But so people are saying, it's not his fault, blah, blah, blah. But as we said, right, he's going to be under an immense level of pressure. Do you think it's warranted?
I do, because of the way that this whole thing played out. Because of LeBron tweeting that he's better than half the stiffs in the league or whatever he put out there. All of those things, Chris, will add up to people looking at him, for all the scouts who say, oh, yeah, he's a good player and he knows basketball. There's all the other scouts who are saying he's not ready, he's not NBA, he's a small guard, small guard. He doesn't shoot it well. His skills are not fully developed. There are those people saying those things as well. So any inkling or any developing where he struggles or doesn't look like he's going to be that player is going to be magnified, and people will pull it up. This is what Rachel Nichols said. This is what so-and-so said. This is what, you know what I mean? Like all these things. Right. So it is. And I'm sure they'll pull up the tweet that LeBron said that he was better than half the leagues and players in the league. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be out there, and unless he plays well, and I don't know, you seem to believe he won't play at all or that much.
I don't think he'll play very much this year. Right. I think he'll be in the G League. Now, he didn't sign a G League contract, but that doesn't mean you can't go play in the G League. He has to. Because I really see no way he's going to be like a major contributor this year. And how are you supposed to develop if you're not going to be playing in the G League or the NBA? So I do think he's going to be playing in the G League. And I agree, Rob, that it's warranted. Because what do we say all the time sells sports? Stories.
Yep.
Right? That's why everybody was talking about the WNBA. Caitlin Clark was a story. Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese was a story. Is race involved? Was a story. Like all that's what we were talking about. And this is a tremendous story. I think everybody, no matter how you feel about Bronny being drafted, whether he deserved it or not, It's a great story, and it's the first. It's the first son and father combination in NBA history. So it is a good story. So it does deserve, attention. And I think you're right. Like the way, like Bronny's I think a good thing for him, Rob, is that he's been LeBron James' son his whole life. So he has definitely been dealing with this his whole life. If he goes, wherever he went to school, whether it was elementary, junior high, high school, AAU, when they find out, at least at first, when they don't really know you, and then they find, oh, that's LeBron James' son, guess what? You're getting everybody's best shot. They're trying to prove something against you. When LeBron, if he ever took him back to Akron, where he used to play outside or whatever, and Bronny ain't from that, Bronny's grown up in Brentwood, right? I'm sure dudes are like, yeah, okay, you soft. Let's see what you can do, and have gone at him. So his whole life, and that hopefully will prepare him for what he's about to experience. Because I do think, Rob, in the Lakers locker room, because of the respect the guys have for LeBron, I think they will kind of embrace him as the team's little brother. Hopefully not to a condescending degree, but that they'll make him feel comfortable. They'll look out for him. They'll try to help him and things like that. But in the G League, whenever you're the opponents, they going to be going at him. And I do mean the G League. They're going to go at him because those dudes are trying to get in the NBA for as small a cup of coffee as it is to get a little bit of that money. You know what I'm saying? And so I think hopefully his upbringing has prepared him for that. But Rob, he's got one of two choices. Don't be in the NBA and don't face the pressure, or be in the NBA and the pressure is going to be incredible, right? Like he has no other, it's one of those two things. And obviously he's chosen to be in the NBA.
And here's the other thing, Chris. Do you know what the contract was for the 55th pick a year ago in the NBA draft compared to Bronny's?
No, but I wouldn't be surprised. Like what I mean, I said today, Bronny getting a 3-year, it's 4-year deal, but 3 years fully guaranteed, but 3 fully guaranteed, team option for the fourth. That's a great deal for him, and obviously we know why. But it's a great deal for him. But go ahead.
Last year's 55th pick, Chris, signed a 2-way contract, which is second round normally, for $560,000. It ain't even like that.
Yeah, I mean, there are second rounders that have gotten the money LeBron's got, but yeah, the 55th pick, Rob, look, we know what it is.
Right. No, I'm just saying, people saying that it ain't, like, stop it. Right. I mean, like you could say it's okay and you could live with it, but don't act like this had nothing to do with LeBron, had nothing to do with. I just think that's a false.
I agree with that.
Okay, that's all.
Nobody look, and I don't have a problem with JJ saying what you had a problem with what he said, and I respect that. I don't have a problem with it because I'm like, look, whatever the case, this is a Lakers player now, and it behooves JJ Redick to give him as much confidence as he can get. Obviously, he's the son of your star player who you better be on the good side of. And so you're going to say the right thing regarding Bronny. Like, I don't have a problem with it because I just don't think you can come out as the head coach and say it was nepotism, But I even if you say, like I have said and truly believe, Bronny does have some very good basketball qualities. His basketball IQ, his athleticism, which is above average, even though he's not like a super freak athlete, he's above average. Seems like he can be a shooter. He shot well in Chicago, didn't shoot well at USC this year. Was a top 20, player in his high school class before he, had the cardiac arrest. Can be a good defender, a dogged defender. Like, he's got a lot of qualities that you think might be able to develop into a legitimate NBA player. But even with all that said, Rob, anybody trying to deny, anybody that's not like LeBron, his family, or I guess maybe associated with the Lakers, that's saying this was all just because of how good Bronny is. That come on.
That's disingenuous,
Yeah,
Chris.
yeah,
right? That's disingenuous because that's not the case.
You can't say that. Who you think you fooling?
Yeah, you're not fooling anybody, and that's why I just think you got to be careful of your JJ Redick. You don't want people to feel like they can't trust anything you're saying. Like I'm not saying, Chris, you got to be a pastor, a minister. You know what I mean? But you got to be careful to word it so that people don't get turned off to you. That you're acting like we don't know what's going on here. Like that.
Right.
That's where people can turn off to you. Like, really? Oh, okay. I'm like a potato over here. Like I don't have a brain. I don't have ears. I don't know
what
what's happening.
you? Like I've said, I think Bronny spends an ample amount of time in the G League this year. I think he'll play essentially in blowouts by the Lakers. I think his action with LeBron will probably be in a blowout victory. I don't see him being like a significant player as far as, in the rotation or anything like that with the Lakers this year. Rob, their draft pick last year, who wasn't 55th, he didn't play much. So that's not unusual. But I'm baffled that people think Bronny's going to be like getting some significant minutes this year with the Lakers. What do you think we're going to see from him as far as playing time this year?
I don't know. I do not believe he's going to be in the G League. I believe
at all.
Nope. I believe he'll be with the Lakers all year. Chris, the contract.
How's he going to work though? He can work one-on-one with the coaches, but I'm saying
that's what I was going to say.
I'm saying about playing though, like 5-on-5.
I know what you're saying, but I believe that they'll work with him, and he'll stick around. I do not believe what is it called? The South Bay Lakers? Is that what it's called? The South Bay Lakers,
think so,
Chris?
Yeah.
I don't believe he'll be playing for that team. I just don't. I think he'll be with the Lakers on the roster all year, be that 12th man, individual coaching workouts, getting in the blowouts, Chris. Those will be his moments that he'll get a chance to play some. I would be surprised if I'm wrong. I'll admit it. I was wrong. He's on the G League team or whatever. I'll admit it. I just don't believe that that's the case. That's why he doesn't have a two-way contract. We just talked about the comparison of the guy a year ago, $560,000 compared to a $8 million contract, 3 years fully guaranteed. This is not your 55th pick who's playing in the G League. It's not, Chris. It's just not.
No, look.